Mood board for 2024. Yeah, baby. Welcome everybody. It's not gonna be a long one. And of course, my husband wants something. As soon as I go online, that is that is that is inevitable. Doesn't matter. Not really. That's no. I mean, wrong time to ask me when I'm in the middle of doing something. Gotta love that. Do I have empty notebooks? I think I'm using every single notebook right now. Unfortunately, I might have. Anyways, off topic. So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. Couple things. Now I have the releasement of 2023, and that is on Saturday night. Good morning, good morning, good morning. That's Saturday night. So if you want to join me, that's going to be a fabulous time. It's only going to be a couple hours, and it's Saturday night. I chose it to be in the evening because we are coming into the dark phases of the moon, and we're going to be in what we call the devil time. And that's, when you can't see the moon. So there's going to be, so I feel like that's a really nice time to come in quiet, come into a time to do the releasements and allow for some releasing. I'm going to zip my thing up so my boobs don't fall out. Me and my boobs hair, trying to keep it all composed. Also the meditation starts on Sunday, so that should be fun. And it's funny, I wrote a little blog the other day about fear and what that fear is, and then I wrote one. It's in my Substack. I've been starting to do Substack, so it's up on my Substack on anxiety, and the whole thing about anxiety and for me, I'm talking about my perspective. They're just my little ramblings that I'm doing, but talking about how the stepping into this new year, dealing with a lot, this year. So I wrote yesterday one on anxiety. I'll do it on my my other blog too. And I'll send it out later on today. But it's one that is very I don't like, for me, talking about that stuff. For me personally, I don't mind anybody else talking about it. I love dealing with other people's stuff. It's like cleaning somebody's house. I'd rather clean somebody's house than my own. But this is a vulnerability. This is about allowing myself to step out, because doing the work I do, a lot of times people don't realize that I go through shit too, and that I have feelings. That a lot of the anxieties and stuff that I feel, and I feel like it's very important for people to understand, because just because you work as a spiritual person per se doesn't mean you have issues, doesn't mean that you don't have shit going on. And a lot of times people forget that. They forget that you have a life other than what you perceive or what you see. So when you talk about, when I talk about my anxiety and stuff and things, it's not about me setting myself up as a victim. It is about me allowing myself to express myself in what is happening. And hopefully that helps other people, and helps other people to understand and know that there is, that you can feel that way. Now, what was great about me writing about all of this, and I said this is going to be my year of healing and bringing in a lot of healing. What comes across my feed, and it's just like, of course, they're all listening. All of a sudden, I'm getting information about different meditations and stuff like that. Well, I'm like, I teach meditations, but it's great to get other people's perspective on the meditations, on doing things, right? Because sometimes you can get very narrow-minded, like you can get the blinders up and it's only my way, but allowing yourself to expand. So looking at different ways of meditating, even though you might know this stuff, it's like retaking your level 1 Reiki. You might know this stuff, but you're getting another teacher's perspective on it. You're getting another way of how to do it. And I think that's really cool. And today we have the 3/4 square of the moon. The moon is in Libra, sun is in Capricorn. Mars is going to ingress into Capricorn with Pluto, as the moon, after this 3/4 square, the moon will be going into Scorpio. So there's a lot coming up. And if you are feeling the anxiety, if you are feeling overwhelmed, or if there's a lot of stuff going on in your life right now that seems to be cray cray, you got to look at, there's a lot of buildup of energies that are coming in right now, and that could amplify a lot of what you are feeling. And I got an appointment today to talk to another astrologer, and she's going to take a look at my chart and stuff, which is going to be cool. Because I don't usually get a lot of people looking at my chart per se, and looking at and getting a perspective. And she volunteered to do this. So kudos for me, man. So that's really exciting to do. And it's another perspective. It's like trying to do a reading for yourself. You know how hard it is to do a reading for yourself without your ego getting in the fucking way? Hey, David, it's so, your ego, will like, well, are you sure that's it? Because you want to perceive it in a certain way, right? And you want to see it in a certain way. And that's the whole thing when you're doing readings for yourself, or you're, looking at your own natal chart. Yeah, I can understand the basics, and I know a lot of shit that's in my chart, and I know that there's a lot of shenanigans that are coming up. But getting somebody else's perspective on it is absolutely fabulous, especially somebody who really doesn't know you that well, which is really kind of cool as well. I like, it's sort of like a blank slate, and that person is just going in and saying, this is what I see. And there's no judgment in it, right? Because they're just seeing what they're seeing, and they're saying what they're saying, right? And that's what's really cool. It's sometimes there is, and I've learned how to deal with this when I do readings for friends, is that not to get my ego in the way, or my perspective in the way, and it's like really coming in and coming in with the spirit, and coming in with the energies of the spirit. So that's really, it's just really cool to do. So doing that is really fun. And of course, anybody who's waiting for their 2024 readings, some of them are going to come out today. They have taken me a while to do, because I've been looking at different angles of your chart, and some of it may include your progressed moon and things like that. So I've looked at different things, and so it's going to be one of those things, that that's going to unfold. So between now and the end of the weekend and stuff like that, you're gonna get your info, people. So what else is happening? I'm going so fast, and the reason I'm going so fast is that I got an appointment at 10:30. But what else is that? Oh, the exposure of what's happening with the Epstein list. I know it's out, and it's all over the internet. People are talking about it. It's there. I think it's, it's going to be an excuse for something else to happen, and especially with Mars going into Capricorn. So it's going to be something, that's going to happen. It won't mean anything to me, but what site can I see in my chart? What do you mean? Dana just asked me a question as I'm going, I don't know what you mean. What site can I see in my chart? Like where your progressed moon is, websites where, what site can you go on to get your stuff? Cafe Astrology, astro.com. There's so many of them. There's a lot of different ones that you can go on and look at and pull up your chart. So you can do that. There's different astrologers that have websites that you can do it as well if you want. So yeah. No, I thought when you said site, my mind went to something else. Like, what do you mean by site? Do you mean by what you can see in your chart, or what you should be looking for in your chart? So yeah. So yeah, so I think there's a lot that's coming out on, with, the releasement of, and you're going to be here, but he's talking about the Epstein shit. I think that's just going to, and especially with Mars going into Capricorn, Capricorn, and Pluto at the end of Capricorn. And then we're going to have the last square over to Pluto with the moon in Libra. It's really going to bring forth, a balance, something to do with trying to figure out the balance of justice. It's going to be a big one. But it's also going to be something, as Pluto is just going to be a shit disturber, and other things are going to come out of it. And with Mars being there, and they both disposit, they both are the rulers to Scorpio, and the moon will be going into Scorpio. I think there's going to be some more eruptions or something that's going to very much erupt to try and to move away from all of what's coming out about it. And I think it's good that it's being exposed, but I don't think you're going to get the whole truth out of everything that's going to be exposed with that anyways. There's a lot more behind the scenes and a lot more of other things that have to do with that man. and I still go down to his farm in Mexico and stuff like that, his ranch in Mexico. So there's so much more, but I think there's going to be a lot of avoidance. But the key thing with all of this, and this is the reason I'm bringing it up, is because you might be feeling that anxiety, that overwhelmness with it, right? And because you're feeling the, people's hysteria and animosity, because we are a collective, we are connected. So this is really, again, this is a good time to really ground, center yourself, do some breath work, come into a place where you can really do some soul searching and meditation, which would be very good. Just, silent. Try and spend, and this is a really cool thing to do for meditation, and I do this quite often, is just turn off everything and sit and just be, and just let the thoughts come out. The thoughts come out, just recognize them, right? Don't judge them. Just recognize whatever is coming up or whatever feelings coming up. And as you do, you can just, okay, I'm going to release that now. And just allow everything to be as it is, like without judgment, without, thinking, oh, I got to do this, this, and this. I mean, those things will come up, but you realize they're coming up because then there's some form of avoidance that your body's trying to do or your mind's trying to do, because your mind doesn't want to be quiet. Your mind doesn't like to be quiet. It wants to do things. It wants to focus you on other things. So this is where you can come back and just like, okay, I just need to breathe. So I'm going to focus on my breath. Focus on a spot on the wall or something, and just coming into that silence, which will be very helpful in order for you to get a better clarity on the decisions and things that you are wanting to do in your life. A lot of times people can't sitting in silence bothers people. I love it. I love to just sit in the morning and nothing's on. I love the quiet. And I'm beginning to appreciate it more and more as I get older. But to have that quiet is an important piece in our journey. Sometimes you may only get it for 5 minutes. The thing is that sometimes, you got a busy household, you got kids, animals, whatever, it's going to last maybe a minute sometimes, but it's taking that minute to just breathe, just to take that minute to just, it's almost like, if you're doing the dishes, like I don't use a dishwasher, and you're doing the dishes, and then you put your hand and you're doing, like, just taking a moment and just sort of, okay, I'm just going to rest my hands on the edge of the sink as the water goes down and close my eyes and just breathe. It's crazy as that. Crazy as that. And in doing that, it's just allowing you to reconnect with the body. Reconnect and allow yourself, okay, I'm feeling, okay, where are these crazy butterflies and stuff coming from? Okay, I got to let that go. Okay, I can't let that go right now. Why can't I let it go? It's really starting to, I think this is going to be a year of reconnection with oneself, so you can reconnect with others. And that's going to be really a big part, because this is all about our spiritual transformation, our experience of life. It's also about us unlocking all the great virtues that we aspire to, and taking those times to be quiet, taking those times to be aware is going to help us, because when we think about our lives and the kind of people we want to be and we all aspire to embody a higher human virtue, right? We want to be kind, compassionate, empathetic, but we want to have an inner strength and courage, but we want to be people of integrity and character, and that's a huge one. We want to be open-minded and willing to hear other people's perspective, but sometimes it's hard because our pride and our own judgment and our humility and our arrogance gets in the way as well. So this is really when you sort of start to look at it and really start to be aware of why I I judged or I snapped at what I snapped. And instead of trying to project your ideas of why you did it, or try to compromise why you did it, this is sort of like now taking that time to really, okay, I truly need to take a moment and look at what are those fears, what are those anxieties, what are those stressors, what am I lashing out at, and why am I doing that? So that's all part of our beautiful spiritual journey. So I have 3 minutes left. Let me pull a card. So remember to register for Saturday and for the meditations on Sunday. Sunday's meditations will start at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is my time. So you guys have to adjust to whatever time if you are coming in with me on what that is in your world, because I don't know. I'd have to Google. So you can Google too. We can all Google. Google it. Oh. Could you imagine if Google didn't choose the name Google? Right? So if you didn't choose the name Google. So what is Saturday? I think you registered for it. It is the releasement of 2023. It's Saturday night. I think I have your name down for it. So. And I think we went through it in one of the texts. So here we go. First card. Whoop! King of Swords. Honesty, integrity, going forthright in who you are, being that person. But sometimes you can get that overwhelmness that comes with it as well. And this is very important to really look at that integrity within yourself, and what that meaning is for you. So the King of Swords, what he comes out to tell you: how can I approach my given situation from a place of clarity and objective? So coming to a place of clarity and objectivity. And with that, got the Lover card. How can I connect not only with myself, but with those around me? How can I connect with that of love and integrity within my whole self? The Lover card is a beautiful card of vulnerability, because sometimes when we are standing in that place of wanting to be in our truth, we have to be vulnerable. The Lover card is about celebration, intimacy, completion. The Lover card brings in that integrity that we need to have in order for us to stand in the truth. And this is, in a world that there's so much going on and so much happening all at once, it can get overwhelming. And with that comes the 10 of Cups. I love this. So the 10 of Cups: joyful, happy, family, reunion, connection with oneself, connection with those around you. The 10 of Cups is a time of looking at the completion of it all, but it's also a lot of emotion that comes in with it. So there's harmony and spiritual growth. And spiritual growth, is coming into your truth and integrity and allowing for you to stand in your vulnerability. It's not an easy one. They're beautiful cards, but they're not an easy track to take. So this is looking at that part and those pieces within your life that that you have to look at. And that is so why I'm I call this year the year of a healing journey, a journey for me to come into my harmony. This is why I wrote the blog about fear. This is why I'm writing the blog about anxiety. It's exposing me and saying, hey, you know what? I got a lot of shit going on in my life too. but I can still, the thing is that, but I can still do what I'm doing and still be in touch with the divine and work with what I'm doing. That's the whole thing. It's a scary thing being a spiritualist, and you're exposing yourself on who you are and the feelings you have, and sometimes the shortfalls that you have as a human being, because you're terrified, and this is the other part of the fear, is that you are terrified that you will lose clients. And that's the God honest truth. You're terrified that you will lose that people, that integrity of who you are, and people will judge you because of that. That's why a lot of them really, they end up having huge breakdowns, and stop doing the work. Stop doing the work because of that, right? And because of thank guys, because of when you're doing this work, you want to, not that you want to come out as perfect, but you want to come out, as genuine as you can. But then it's very, for many spiritualists, for them to really express their feelings, it can be very difficult because people get judgmental on it. Anyways, on that point, I gotta go. I got a person waiting for me, and they're probably wondering